Weird. Where's the chat? Yep, the chat's there. I just didn't see it. Evening, everybody. So I get straight into it. It's already getting late. 10:30 at night. It's late-ish for a start, that is. And in the spirit of this evening's weather, yes, we'll be doing some liquid damage Macbooks. We had a hell of a storm come over today. Knocked out our power for a couple of hours, left us in the dark. We wondered what the heck we were going to do. It was like, oh my god, we're going to actually talk to people around us, to be social. It was quite scary. Didn't get any hail, thankfully. We've got a heck of a lot of wind. So, not so much rain. It was probably about 15 to 20 millimeters of rain. But yeah, no hail, thankfully. We don't really need that. Let's see. Alright, let's go straight to the overhead and we'll dig into this thing. What have I got here? A piece of junk on the back. 1989. This one's disassembled. Which is going to be fun because 1989, hopefully it's similar to all the others, because I don't really recall off the top of my head disassembling one of these before. So yeah, fingers crossed it's just like the rest. You had to drive 7 hours to get home. That's crazy. Okay, we got a bent tab there. Get the feeling that's not meant to be bent. Hey Martin, good morning to you. Okay, that's going to be up there. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. This is going to be bottom left. It's going to be right, and you're going to be up there. The rest I'll have to take a guess. Hopefully we won't do any long screw damage. Unlikely, but yeah, it's always on the back of your mind that when you haven't had an opportunity to put the screws into the containers yourself, you're kind of like not sure where it all came from. Penov and Barry, James E. Wing, Warren Stamps, hey Milan. Okay, bit of dust in there, but not bad. Andrew Hughes. Let's see. Opened the back, tried to disconnect the battery, had no proper screwdriver. Wow, they got all the Torx ones out. No, except for that, eh? Ended up seeing a spark near the connector on the logic board. Oh dear. Alright, so we've got liquid damage. Okay, there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to go over on this. Solid bridge here. Had a funnel cloud up near... Oh yeah, I saw that. The cold funnels they call them, isn't it? Oh man, you just tried to clean my glasses and made it worse. Can't use metho. You can't use metho because the bittering agent has a tendency to leave a little bit of a white haze on the glasses. I can attest to the effectiveness of the bittering agent, by the way. Because when we get goods back from the store after we purchase stuff at the store, we tend to wash down everything with metho. Yeah, just in case the old Rona is hanging around on it. Anyway, some of that metho interacted a little bit too closely with what we were consuming, and sure enough, it was like way too bitter. Very effective stuff. Alright, so we've got a lot of it's just unfortunate that they've been. Oh, this is going to be fun. Looks like they've been chewed out. Where's my camera? Hello, camera. Microscope, where are you? What the dealio? As I said, the power went up, which means pretty much everything has been reset on this computer. Oh, don't give me this crap, OBS. Be right back, see if OBS doesn't kill me. Hopefully we're back. I don't know why OBS has a fit over this sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, God damn it. So tonight's challenge is to spot weld and remove. This is where you need a microscopic spot welder. We also need to disconnect the battery, so like that. Usually just taking that flex off should be enough because it will immediately shut down the board. I mean, there is some electrical activity that still occurs, but it shouldn't be enough to cause drama. Okay, that's oversized for the task. Okay, we can get these out simply by pressure turning. We're going to have to be flattened out. 20-pound sledgy should do that. Yeah, it's flattened. I'm going to have to get some spare screws for these, because those screws are ruined. Hey, Paul Gale. Kristen, I'll tell you what I am going to do is get solar storage. And that will solve all the problems. So something like 7 to 10 kilowatts on the roof, and then say 20 kilowatt hour on the side of the house. And that should be beautiful. Okay, bring out my metalworking skills. Not that I have a huge amount in that area. It is funny, I won the Metalwork Awards. Okay, I can see where the short circuit was right there. I won the Metalwork Awards and Woodwork Awards at school, but it wasn't because I was actually any good at it, but rather because I got 100% on the theory all the time. Yeah, the theory would be questions like, why do they use lead for sinkers, for fishing sinkers? And you'd have to give all the different reasons. The fact that, it's ductile, it's dense, it's non-corrosive, non-reactive, it's cheap, things like that. And of course the theory section would make up 50% of your score. And in the practical section, I would get okay enough. But then you back it up with 100% on the theory, and it was like, well, that's it. He's clearly the best woodworker, metalworker in the shop. And it's like, no, I really wasn't. I wasn't terrible, but I wasn't as good as I've seen other people. The fur babies, yeah, they're not keen on it. Our butterscotch, long-haired butterscotch Mia, she really doesn't like them. They've been complaining a bit, Warren. Yeah, we're trying to get them off to their new sort of place as soon as we can. It's been pretty hard on us as well. I mean, yeah, not that it matters, but you sort of get woken up at night with the nightmares and the whole reliving things and trying to change things. You go over your mind. You go, if I just go back and change this, fix this or fix that. It's the usual sort of what do you call it? Trauma emotional response type thing. Trying to manage it, trying to compartmentalize it, justify it, work it out in your head, rationalize it, work through it. Because mostly we do also worry about those kittens. We want them to go to a good place, and it's very hard for us to let them go because we have an inherent distrust of pretty much everybody else. Hey APL. Fix it. Alright, let's see what the hell got damaged here. It is nasty. It actually doesn't look that bad under the microscope, but there's definitely something went psst there. Kitten recovery room is still in process. Unfortunately, I am a slack bastard. Well, I'm just so flat out with work. It's a good thing. Okay, we've got corrosion there. And the moments I do get to relax, I just sort of pass out. Well, liquid damage is actually quite extensive on this. And then by the time I am starting to feel like, alright, I can go and tackle this room, my time has run out, so to speak, and I have to get back to doing this work. So it's a bit frustrating. And I've also got all my tax paperwork to deal with. And I think I was either supposed to be tonight or tomorrow. Okay, that is probably a big problem there. Okay, that's been smooshed. Yeah, Andrew, it's certainly difficult. It's never easy for anyone. Not if you've got half a heart. Okay, a little bit of corrosion there. Oh yeah, it's been all over here. It's gotten a bit hot here too. You can see that bluing of those inductors. They are, I believe, just the speaker amps. Mr. Gale, thank you. Thank you very much. 5 Canadian Parkos, eh? Is that what you guys refer to them? Is that a USB 32? Yes, it is a USB 32. I didn't realize this board had those. Usually you see this chip on the 1534 boards, or is it? No, not the 15, the 1708 boards. I don't know what that is. This could be a real pain. It seems like there's a lot of parts that were churning away while it was running. Yeah. If we're lucky, we've just got one shorted cap somewhere. Yeah, Joe, mate. It's we all wish we could do more. But yeah, we're definitely quite heartbroken by the whole thing. Left a fairly bitter taste in our mouth, considering how things were going so well. Yeah, okay, that... It's hard to say what happened there. It's like it's got liquid damage, but it also looks like it's got arcing damage. Well, that goes to the touch bar. Yay. Don't want to touch the touch bar. Hey, Tony W. Keith McDermott. Michael Chan, good evening to you, good sir. Nihonma. I'll take one of these out and start doing some testing. I have a feeling this might be an infrared test one, because there's a lot of little bits of liquid damage, but I'm not sure if there's any. There doesn't seem to be anything that's so catastrophically bad that you immediately go, yeah, that's going to be it. I mean, okay, there was that one or two little pieces. I thought that's going to be pretty close, but I think it's going to be a case of infrareding this. So Jim will be pleased. Michael, a little bit down at the moment. One of the foster cats we lost over the weekend. She was there was the mother of the kittens. She was struck down by a car. It's just unfortunate we don't have the resources, the room to keep them all fully contained within our property. There's just limits on what we can do, and it turned out that it was just a very unfortunate thing. 5 volts, 200 milliamps. Is the battery protected when that section takes a hit? Sometimes, I mean, the batteries do have obviously their protection, but I don't think it would be really going to work on this area. Yes, I like that. It's too far down the chain. I think the battery protection is more kicking in when it's a direct short, maybe one of the input protection MOSFETs shorts out or something like that. It's kind of like the what do you call it? The circuit breakers in your mains power board. It's not always going to save you from an earth leakage issue, but it should save things from catching on fire. Michael, yeah, I mean, we're still doing it, but as you can imagine, we're quite upset about it. It was not a nice thing, and we keep reliving it. Five volt, 200 milliamp. I don't know. Is this the CD3215s playing up, or is this something else? We'll stick the infrared on just to see, because I'm lazy. Hey, Dion J. Okay, something. Where are you? Up here? Damn it, stopped. I mean, these caps are getting mildly warm. They're not even... to be fair, they're barely ready to mention. That's my body temperature there. And these caps are barely even getting warm. That's all just reflections. Let's flip it over. Okay, that looks a little more serious. Just wait for the plastic of the glove to burn into my finger. Yeah, one of the speaker amps. Or something near it anyway. Oh yeah. We got some fire, well not really fire, but some liveliness. Anyway, that's where that is. We already know where it is. Stop playing with it. I wouldn't have picked that, to be honest, in the sense of I can't feel it. It's not hot enough for me to put my finger there and go, oh yeah, that's definitely burning. But that's certainly where a short is. At least I'm 90% sure these are speaker amps. I could be wrong. I don't even know what board this is, to be honest. Ugh. Look at that nasty veer damage up there. Yeah, let's get this thing off. Hey, Pionov. 00850. Thanks, Pionov. Yeah, Pionov, I'm just making that assumption based on its location and the style of it. It just seems to look like a speaker amp configuration. And the fact that there's two of them side by side. That's a little bit gnarly in there. It's like on iPhones, quite often the speaker amp section is the one that's shorting out after liquid damage, and it willingly takes a fair bit of power even when everything else is shut off. Which is why when you get liquid damaged iPhones, you very often just rip the speaker amp clean off, if there's anything remotely liquid-like around it. Assuming you're chasing a short or something. Well, obviously if you're not, then there's no point taking it off. Don't just take things off for the sake of taking things off. I'm just more saying if it does fit the symptoms that you're chasing, then fair enough. There's some gnarly looking cap there. I'll pretty much just take all this off, really. Yeah. Let's see how it goes now. It doesn't need that amp. There's a lot of work to be done on this board though, even after that. Yeah, so we've still got 5 volts, but our current is way down to, what is it? Not even 100 milliamps. I'll infrared it again just to see if anything else pops up. It's unlikely. We might have a pulsar, but I don't think we... That's just heat from the hot air. I think we'll have to have a look at our CD3215s. Hope it didn't damage the T2. Yeah. There's so much that could possibly go wrong. I mean, look at the damage around those 3215s. It's... yeah, this isn't a little bit of damage, this is quite a bit. And like I said, this USB 32 chip, that's also a bit of a problem. And say we lift that up, see what's going on underneath. And give it a reball. Yeah, at least these ones aren't underfilled, that's true. Something to be thankful for, I guess. But like all of this is probably going to come up, that's going to come up. It's... realistically, I'd probably say this is better off as a data recovery job. We don't even know if the display or keyboard or anything's going to work. It's actually surprisingly clean under there. To the point where I might... yeah, there's a bit of corrosion down there. Which is over... yeah, actually you can see a little bit down there. Frames per second on the microscope seem to be okay, I think. Yeah, seems to be okay. Hey, Hectech, got a board at work that came in with holes blown in the CD chips. Oof. Kind of makes you wonder whether that's going to be repairable or not on the basis of the fact of, yeah, if that much power got into those chips to destroy them like that, what else has been taken out in the process? Oh, I'm an idiot again. It was easier to bring in the assistive heat than to change the tips. So it could also be a fault with these two resistors here. Not sure what they are, but I wouldn't be surprised they're I2C chips, communication line chips. Let's see if we don't have a short on any of our main rail caps. Aaron, I pretty much decided not to. I prefer just simply to have the number if nothing else. I've got some other ideas for what I want to do, but I'm not really wanting to put all of the information in there. Yeah, looks like we made the balls pop out of the lid sensor. Oops. Is the fuse okay? Yep. Fuse reporting for duty. I mean, they look pretty banged up. They are holding on though. Since they didn't come off when I pressed them like that, then they get to stay till the next round. I'm not sure if there's board views or not, I haven't looked. Right now we're just still sort of janitorialing through here. Yeah, they don't want to take... They're not wanting to take solder though. Alright, I wonder if I've actually already got it anyway. I'll have a check in a second. Yeah, they're not healthy. Shoot, I don't know where that one went. Cap on the fly, resistor on the fly. But yeah, my guess is they're probably, I don't know, a couple of K pull-ups. This is probably 3v3 or something like that. Feels a little floaty actually. What'd you say, pen of 850? Oh, yep, we've got an 850. So that was these two here. Okay, they're not I2C, but they're part of the debug. They are, oh actually they are, clock and data. 1 megs. Okay. What size? 201s. 1 meg 201. Let's go get ourselves some resistors. Hey Taro, welcome. JMAB2, Amsterdam. Amsterdam, the place that everybody goes to because they think they're going to get their drugs. Not anymore, eh? Huh, okay. What happened? They tighten up everything, or is everyone else just now allowing it to? Hey, engineering, how's it going? Get up to anything interesting on the weekend? Too many junkies. Oh, okay. Just got a little bit over the top. Probably they were mostly from foreign places too. It's a bit like when people go to Bangkok and all that sort of stuff. You know they're not. You know they're often up to nefarious things. Hey Greg, how's it going? And LJ Rogers. Let's see. Engineering, you spent fixing Nintendo Switches. Oh, okay. I've only ever done 2 of those. One was just a really unlucky case of they dropped it and a screw came out of the main board and then just happened to short out the input power some stage of it. Anyway, so that was freakishly lucky and I was able to fix it. And the other one, I can't remember what I was doing the other one. Anyway. So I haven't had a lot to do with them, but they seem to be tolerable units to work on. Just need to get some more alcohol onto this chip, give it a bit more of a wash, and then I'll just repaste it. Joe Cartwright, you went to Amsterdam in 97. Okay. Art movies 97. The closest I got there was I went to Zurich and Switzerland in 2000. That was fun. Mostly walking around though. Right. Stencil time. Engineering, you're doing reballing chips and... Oh, that's... yeah. Well. Just what we're about to do, eh? Ew, milk, yuck, yeah. At least with things like alcoholic beverages and or soda beverages, things like that. It's the resulting mess. It's tolerable. It's just usually nice toffee-smelling stuff. But oh my god, milk. I mean, sure, if you drive milk far enough, you'll eventually also get to sort of something like toffee, but dear goodness gracious, trying to get there in the first place. Ah, it's disgusting. Just like my stencil. when you are reballing with stencils and you've got your little tub of paste, don't bother being like, don't bother being conservative with the amount of paste you use. Just get in there and shovel a bunch of the goop onto your spudger or whatever. You're never going to use up that full tub of paste before it's going to go trashy anyway. So use paste like Lewis uses flux. And then just wipe it off. Yeah, if you don't use it all, just wipe it off when you're done. Throw it in the trash. EPA won't mind one bit. No two balling for this. This is strictly a paste job. You can't really do individual balls on chips this small. This is below what I would consider the ball limit, so to speak. You know, this size and smaller, you just go paste. I mean, you can see the individual balls on this paste anyway. Get a little bit more heat so that they can stick properly to their pads. We should be good. And that's an iPhone 5S power chip stencil. It's not actually not meant for CD3215s, but it certainly works. Okay, we only left behind one stray ball. Eek. I think we're good. Let's give it a bit of a wash. Peter Jordan, thank you. That's a terrible thing to say, though. That white junk you can see around, that is flux. But it's not really very good flux anymore, so you have to scrub it off. And that's a little bit awkward with chips this size. That's looking a lot better. Nice. Chip itself might be damaged, we don't know, but at least its ball's good. Hey Pols, yeah, nice to see you. I need to reply back to you. I did get your emails, I'm sorry, just some things did come up here outside of work, and I've kind of not been up to replying to emails the last couple of days. Certainly nothing personal to you, that is. Thanks, appreciate it. By the way, my gear here for the camera and everything like that, it's really no different from what other people are using. The only big improvement here is the fact that I'm now using the HDMI capture dongle, but that's about it. Oh, and I clean my lenses. Like the other night when you saw I cleaned up the Barlow, well, that helps. Hey, moving 9383. What's this? Yeah, they all look pretty nasty, I agree. I guess I'm sort of trying to see what I can get away with initially. That is seriously off kilter. Still hasn't dropped. There we go. That took a long time to come drop down properly. Thank you, Jamab. Appreciate it. Yeah, these two caps, you can... This is when you can tell if a board has been running while there's been liquid damage, because you'll get... If it's been running while you've had liquid damage, you'll get the corrosion just sitting on one side of many parts, because that's because the electrolysis effect. Whereas if it's been corroding while it's just freestanding and off, then you'll find the corrosion equally, on either side or wherever the corrosion sits. But yeah, when it's sitting like on one side of the pads, that's when you know it's been grinding away with the power applied, and that's not a good thing. Particularly too because it eats often underneath the pad, like this one here. It's bad enough eating the end cap, but when it eats into the actual pad, and often what you can sometimes, I don't know why I say often when you can sometimes what you can get is that it eats underneath the part without actually even doing anything to the cap of the part. So if it's just a very thin layer of corrosion that's sort of wicked in underneath it, you won't see that, and it's not until you actually knock it and it just simply comes clean off that you realise that it's been compromised. This one on the other hand is just, this up here too, just blatantly bad. Yeah, so that's a train wreck there. Unfortunately I figure there's going to probably be a good dozen or so of these train wrecks on this board. Ooh, that one's actually gone right. Too far. Let's see what they are. That's these two up here. 3441. 10k, no problem. Okay, so a pair of 10ks, that's no worries. Yeah, it's definitely an ugly board. Like I said, I'm sincerely thinking it might have to just... Ah, damn. We've lost the veer on that one. The veer's gone. And that one's probably not going to be much better. So you can see the center of it is not connected to any copper. Now the center is where the veer is going down. It's a stalk that goes through the board of copper. So we have to find out where that comes up and reconstruct it, run a wire. So schematic, So what's this one? That's this one up here. PP bus G. Yeah. So basically everywhere that we've got PP bus G3 hot, we're probably going to have this sort of corrosion, and that's in a lot of places on the board. As you can see, all of these places are going to have to be inspected if there's liquid. Damaros, what's the problem with the ASC file format not showing board edges? What do you mean by not showing board edges? Send me a picture. Send me the file. Hey, fixing things? You still loving these MacBooks? Yeah, I don't mind. It's no worse than PCs. Better than PCs in some ways. Easier to work on. Okay, what's unfortunate here is that our 3V42, we do not have anything around here like that until we get up over here. So we might have to run a wire from there across the board up to one of these caps. It's the easiest option. But I may consult with the person and see if they just simply want to go for a data recovery, because honestly, when a board gets like this, you can almost guarantee in a couple of months it's going to fail again, maybe with the same sort of fault, maybe with something other intermittent fault. But in these sort of scenarios, you kind of look, it's better off just go data recovery, do a warranty insurance claim on the on the board, and move to the next one. How's things going on your side there, fixing? PCs, the biggest problem with PC or laptops is the lack of data, more than anything else. If we had consistently good schematic and board views for PC laptops, then it wouldn't be so bad. And also if people were willing to pay the price. But it's a little hard to get people to pay even $250 to get their PC laptop fixed, whereas people with a MacBook, because they've already invested a couple of thousand into it, they're going to pay, yeah, they're going to pay the $300-400 whatever to get them repaired. The estimate that I find, and it seems to be agreed with other people, is that once the repair cost goes over 1/3 of the original purchase cost, most people will just walk away. So if you can... Oh, you mongrel of a thing, you flew off... Ah, damn it. That's like 1/10 of a cent I'll never get back. Hey Catherine, how's it going? So much damage. Look at all this. This pretty much, I would say that all needs to be replaced. There's got to be 3 or 4 of those at least not connected. Yeah, don't touch them, Paul. Wait until you actually get up there. There. I don't know where that other 10k resistor went. Oh, look at these. No, I'm just going to have to get another one out of the bag. Ah, Damaro's right, thanks. Oh, in those scenarios, the problem there is that there is no data. As far as I know, there is no outline data on those files, and that is why it falls back to just a box outline. And before you say, can't you just calculate an estimated outline based on the positioning of the pins with a buffer around? That is actually an extremely difficult algorithmic problem to do, and not one that I really care to tackle. The human mind is actually frustratingly just good at lying to you about how easy something could be. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because I've actually gone through and tried to do that sort of thing. It's not so bad if you're producing convex objects, like basically so that you don't have any pair of edges that sort of make it so it caves in. So if you've just purely got a convex object, like a nice circle or whatever, that's fine. But with boards, they're concave, so it makes them extraordinarily hard to actually calculate their outlines. Satisfied with your answer? Alright, fine. Thank you. Thank you for letting me carry on. I don't think we need to worry about... I know I haven't strung up that G3 hot yet. I don't think I need it though, for at least testing. What is this? Oh wait, actually no, it's current protection. Yeah, maybe I do. We'll see. We'll plug it in and see what happens. It's not like they were running before anyway. I just want to see if I'm getting 20 volts up. Still the same. Okay, we'll run that wire. John HDN, I think the problem is that I don't cause enough controversy. I think really on YouTube you either have to come up, well anything really in life, you either have to come up with something that's spectacularly different, new and exciting, or you have to stir controversy. And since I'm neither, then I guess I'll just continue to stay underrated, as it were. Hey, vapes, how's it going? Okay, we've got to tin the end of this wire. Well, that is way too close for us. It's going to be a slightly tricky one because I've got to come back pretty strong. Go around the chip and come back. Normally I do prefer my lengths wire for this, but we'll have a shot with the normal 0.1 mils. Stick with the flux down. Jason Vilmer amounts. Honestly, it looks like you're using rebar or something on your board. But this stuff is fairly light. Hey, Stain RA. Jason Vilmer is a chap in Florida who does a lot of iPhone work. He would probably prefer to be known as a quirky chap in Florida. You can make some fun videos. Yeah, SDS Telecom. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Cecilia, yeah, you can learn. Well, I mean, really, prior to board views and schematics becoming prevalent as they are now, I mean, that is what we were doing. But of course, yeah, the degrees of which you could repair depended a lot on just how visible the faults were. Let's see. So basically, we want this area up in here. That's actually quite a trek. I actually almost didn't make that wire long enough. Huh. That would have been embarrassing. So we'll tack it in there. Fixing things, you got a sense of humour? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I complained to him, I think this morning. I said to him, so what the hell are you doing? You know, you've almost at 100,000 viewers, subscribers, and you've just gone and vanished off the planet. You know, people want to see your videos. And yeah, he gave me various excuses. Some of them were valid. But I think more people need to harass him. I think it's the right thing to do. He'll probably get upset about that. He'll probably send me some hateful words. But it's for the greater good. Oh, you mongrel. You didn't even... What am I paying you for? Micro soldering tip? Yeah, this is the intro of the micro soldering tip. When you come across a slightly heavier junction like this, you can't do squat. That's why I gotta get my assistive heat on. Come here, man. Give you a hand here. There you go. Yeah, I don't think that's very good at the moment. In fact, I consider that downright terrible. To avoid that hole. Well, as long as I don't play music while we're trying to communicate, it should be just fine. I do need the bigger tip. If I ran the wire perpendicular across those inductors, then I'll probably be okay. For all the people who do signal design and things like that for a living, they'll be screaming at this. And now I need more flux. Not one thing, it's another. It's a little bit head and pillowed there, but I'm not too worried about it because it is good on the other side. Head and pillow is what we call it when the solder doesn't actually form a nice little fillet around whatever it is you're soldering, but instead sort of tucks in around it like it doesn't want to touch it. So when you get that sort of thing, then you know you're not actually getting any real contact. So we've got head and pillow on this side. You can see how it doesn't want to actually touch it, it's tucking in. But then on this side we've actually got a proper fillet, so it's all good. It's just because the enamel didn't come off at the very end there. Right. Somehow I don't think this is going to change much. There's just far too many other defects on this board. Yep, still too many defects on the board. Hey Israel Mitz. Yeah, I'll check the other 3215s, because yeah, there is a bit of corrosion around them. I don't think that's going to be shorted. It doesn't look like that cap's shorted. It's got a little bit of corrosion around it, but it's not shorted type corrosion. Yeah, the reason why I went beat before is because I was actually touching that. See? Easy to get tricked. That needs to be cleaned up though. Mr. B, why is Apple so bad when it comes to repairability of the devices? For one, their first and foremost task as a business, as a company in the world of capitalism, is to make money. And the best way to make money is to make sure people change, buy the devices periodically. The second thing, however, is that Apple actually isn't that bad, really, in terms of the quality of their machines. You just hear more about it because people actually take the effort to repair them. And funnily enough, in many ways, Apple is actually a lot more repairable compared to other devices. Well, that's not good there. I mean, we do get board views and schematics, and there's a lot of support, and you can get donor boards. So there's actually quite a lot of options for repairing them compared to a lot of other machines. So in as much as they are a pain at times, and Apple especially, they are surprisingly good to do repairs on. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have had their fair share of bad design moments, definitely. But then, the only reason you hear about a lot is because they've got a fairly long model life, and people really just don't give a damn about the PC side of things. It's like, oh well, there's 10,000 different PC laptops. So you've got maybe a few thousand of each out there, whereas with the Apple Macs you've got a few million of each. So the reduced number of models kind of helps it become more repairable. Apple would be, oh, they're more than 4 layers. I think 7 to 12 layers, I think. Pernoff would know. Certainly around more than 4, that's for sure. 6 or 7, I would have thought. Okay, why do I get the feeling that MOSFET's cactus? Yeah, I think that's a dead one. We'll have to get another one. 8 on the iPhone, 10... Right, there you go, see? Thank you, folks. Let other people do the hard work. Okay, so we just replaced... Well, took off this thing, QB631. Interesting. It's a... Dual collector DFN6 wide DFN6 part. Okay. NSS 610 DMT. What? Could it be? Could it be? Did someone just send me one of these? I'm gonna have to find that part. Hey, optimized logic. Okay, 840, 850, 1814. I really hope I've got one here. It seems like to be a bit of a new part that they're using. 1040, 1521. I've got none of these boards. And the bloomin' well put them all on the chicken wings. I'm just seeing what this board is that I've got here. We're all done. Yeah, I don't have any of those boards. What's this one? 239. No. Alright, so we've got a problem that we need a part and we don't have it. And we don't even have anything close. NSS 60101 DMT. Oh, Element 14 has them. Shock horror. I honestly was not expecting that. Bipolar transistor array. 1400 in stock. A couple of days away, a week away. Cheap as. Yeah, less than $1 a pop. Guess I'll be getting some more of them. Thank goodness we can actually get them. Because I really do not see... I mean, I'm going to have a look and see if that pad's under there. To be fair, it is actually joined with that one. But that could be only on the circuit board, not... microscope. Buy 50, yeah, that'd be about right. Actually, I'll buy 10. Oh wait, maybe this actually... no, looks like I might be able to get this one back. I really thought it was burned out. Still might be worth buying a bunch of them though, because next time I might not be so lucky. And for all we know, this is possibly damaged anyway. Oh, I know in the title I said I was going to talk about change of business. Basically, I really need to now change things so that I don't have people send me their cases, power supplies. Oh, wow, that's just mashing up. It's just machines only. Because I'm running into a couple of cases now where I'll forget to pack in whatever it was that they sent. Yeah, and then it's an inconvenience to the people, and it's an inconvenience to me. It costs money, obviously, to send off the extra package. I mean, obviously, clearly it's my fault, because I should tag everything and have it prepped and ready for when I do send it back. But it's one of those areas where it's a lot of extra overhead for maybe the 10% of situations where that does happen. Besides, it's easier to pack when you don't have those things sent along, particularly the power bricks. So I'm going to be making it in the job submission now that it pretty much will say 3 or 4 times, do not send anything but the machine. What's this, fixing things? Do you charge for trying? Oh no, I do charge for trying, yeah. I think you go broke far too quickly otherwise. Very easy to end up with a dozen duds in your week, and then you got nothing to show for it. It also, however, does open up the opportunity for you to say, look, this machine is dead. Are you interested in selling it for parts? That was actually amazingly easy to get down. Well, I guess it depends on how you go fixing it. I mean, I think every business has to make that choice themselves. Yeah, I don't like it when you get some people and they go, I'm successful, so you have to do what I do, otherwise you're not going to be successful. I think it depends on your market, what your success rates are. And I'm finding lately that there's simply too many dud jobs showing up that I'm wasting. Yeah, you'd waste a day or two of your week just handling duds. Which of course is detrimental to the service of the customers that do have machines that you could service. And we're still at 5 volts. Nothing much changed there. I'm going to try the other side and see if we get a loop pattern or whether it just stays constant still. One thing about this particular USB meter is it will tell me what protocols it's trying to use with the USB-C connection. And so sometimes you can actually see it switch from, say, like the 5 volt protocol up to a higher or different protocol, and then it will loop. It just gives you an idea of what might be different. This one's just saying unknown protocol, which generally means it's brain dead. The CD3215s are brain dead. Fixing things, yeah, and yeah, you get also businesses that not in, well, intentionally will send you stuff to filter out the jobs that are valid or not. That's when you know you're getting done over. Just doing some continuity checks. Yeah, so I mean, they're all looking ugly, but we don't really have a short anywhere. We just got corrosion everywhere. I bet you that's the 342s again. Sorry, I'm just digging around here trying to find something. What? What? Ah, finally. I couldn't work out my orientation. So if we have a look at the schematic, we've got this part up here again, and I bet you this is, yep, G3 hot. 3, yeah. So that corrosion is the same as we saw on the other side that we had to fix up. So here and here. So these are probably just going to come right off, yep. Jessa Jones style. Pernov, you're talking about the 6000 series HPs. Or something else. Yeah, well, I think it's more like it got wet and then ridden hard. Or it was just simply chewing on the battery the whole time. Hey Jason, how's it going? Well, we're not going to call it dead yet, but the only reason I'm interested in these is because, like I said, they're part of the current system, protection system. At least I think they are. Ugh. It's like handling a horsehair worm. Those things are disgusting. At least we actually have the pads on this one, I think. Let's see if they retain. And I've broken the tip off my knife. Let's see how it's missing the very fine end tip. Now I could grind it down, but I don't have a suitable piece of equipment for that. But what I do have is a box of about 100 others. HP DV 6000. Yeah. Thought it was. I think one of those was the first big money waster money loss I made. It was just like problem after problem after problem. And in the end I pretty much came out even, and that cemented my perception of those machines. Okay, again, the veer's rotted, well, the pad's rotted away from the veer. Kind of curious, if this pad is still connected to the rail, then we only have to do a short jump. Yeah, we're not getting that veer back. Wait, what? Okay. We're lucky. That pad is connected, so we'll put our resistors down and then I can just do a short wire across the two. Now, Peter, I'd consider this normally a challenge board in this case. To be fair, some you win, some you lose. I'm just kind of hoping that I will get at least data recovery point. If I can get to data recovery point, then I'll probably settle it at that. Hey, Mohammed. Hey, yes. How's it going? Kittens are missing their mummy, as expected. Wish we could wind back the clock and fix that, but alas, it is what has happened. We just have to keep pushing forward. And we try not to think about it too much. And we just try to do better, and yeah, hopefully I can become rich enough that I can create a better sanctuary for them for future ones. The only trouble is, well, I shouldn't say trouble, but the painful part of when you lose animals, or in my case these cats that we're trying to rescue, it's bad enough that you've lost them. But then when you eventually do get the new place that's better and protects them and all that sort of stuff, then you get struck with, I don't know, survivor's guilt or something like that. Because you feel like if I'd done this sooner, then I could have saved them. Yeah. And you're stuck with that guilt that they didn't make it because I didn't get this done in time. And believe me, we have quite a few that have missed out. In the last 2 years. So yeah, it's going to be bittersweet. It's going to be really nice that we finally got the proper place for them set up, but yeah, we're going to really feel and miss the ones that we didn't get to save. Rescued our cat. He was a crack addict. What? What the heck? You have to tell more on that story. Can't just leave it like that. Okay, so this is Litz wire. It's actually meant for crystal radios, for antennas, because it's multi-stranded, but each strand is insulated from each other. It's an interesting wire. I mean, we're using single strands, obviously. And I just pulled some of my glove apart. But you can see it's a woven sort of cloth, and then it just splays out into all these individual insulated strands. and it makes it really good for crystal radio antennas and things like that, as well as losing it on the table. Where did I put that? Ah, there. Now the reason why I like using this stuff is because the copper it's made from, I don't know if they've annealed it or what, but it's extremely soft, or pliable rather, and the enamel is significantly less problematic to displace from the end. See, it only takes me a couple of seconds of... There we go, that's good enough. I'll get the other side tacked down. It only takes me a few seconds with the micro pencil, and it's already taken the enamel off. Whereas with the usual 10mm, 0.1mm wire that you saw me use before, you kind of got to struggle a bit. Now the downside is, I guess, I don't know what the chip resistance is compared to them. By that I mean, like, if it rubs up against something else, how durable is the enamel compared to the other wire? But certainly for circuits like this, where it's a short run, you're not rubbing against anything, and you're not dealing with high currents, I much prefer to use it. I'm just going to clean up, or not clean up, but add a bit more solder on, that's what I wanted. There. A custom premise. We're fixing up a rather waterlogged 13-inch Mac. Look in the description below. Nope, still not 20 volts. Have another quick look over the board, see if there's anything in this region that we can really, that jumps out at us. I mean, that looks bad, but it's not. That having vaporized concerns me greatly. I'm starting to wonder whether it's inevitably doomed. These diodes could have blown. Yeah, they look a bit messed up. I mean, it's bad, but I don't know if I'd call that stop it working bad. Like all this up here, maybe I should be looking at. Let's see what we've got. touch, touch. Doesn't look, although, you know, it is messed up, that stuff, I don't think that it's stuff that, you know, okay, that's display and touch, so it's a mess, but I don't think it's going to be causing our issues. What about this? U5100 T139 Sport. It's again display. Yeah, display. So yeah, this is all messy, and we don't want that to be there, but again, it is display. We're at the point where we don't even have 20 volts coming through yet, so we have to deal with that first. I'll have a look at those two little critters. Okay, these ones. Display. Is it fried? Quite possibly, but even if it's fried, we should still get 20 volt. I wonder what that chip does. Oh, whoops. No one can see, Paul. Yeah, wondering what this 2890 does. Oh, you're the USB ROM. Okay, that might be a culprit. Because I was saying we don't have a protocol indication coming up. A blue dog, Ron? Turnoff, do you know if these USB-C ROM chips can be moved between boards, or are they exclusively to a given board? Yeah, I know my little thingy just came up then. Someone's gonna say, that's what she said. What are we, like a bunch of 12-year-olds in here? No scope cam. My apologies. Thank you. Yeah, pound of these like these ROM chips or EFI chips, whatever. Can they be moved between boards, as in different types of boards, or it has to come from the same board? Because I would imagine they deal with the CD3215 as well. You can swap them on 1617. Hopefully the same the newer ones. Okay. It's something to do. I don't know the exact purpose of them, but it's something to do with the USB-C communications. I don't know precisely what. All I know is they are a RAM chip, flash chip, EEPROM, whatever. Don't make me get pedantic. Eight megabit ones too. Yeah, I guess you're right about that, AJ, yes. Alright, so I'm a little worried with that corrosion that's on the end of it, that it may have suffered an internal fault, which may explain me getting no protocol on the USB. But The trouble is, do I have another one? It's an 850, I believe. I've got a 239 here, I think. So I was wondering if I could nick that one. I suppose you can just try it, eh? I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's not going to work? Ooh. Maybe they'll talk Old English instead of modern English. Oh yeah, I definitely killed the other one aside. Yeah, I definitely am not in the habit of throwing out chips. No siree. There are two on the board. Okay, I was wondering about that. Well, I guess we'll see, Pelnov. I wonder if I can maybe get the programming off one and replace it. Barry, I did manage to repair that or at least it seems like I repaired that transistor. Did and seems, yeah, can be a bit different. Yeah, I know that let go again. If I don't get this working, I think I'll just step away from this board for a little bit and try another board. Sometimes, you just overwork something and it's better to come back at it later with a fresh view. Pelnov, that's pretty much how we always are with these board repairs though, isn't it? It's like, well, I'm going to make an assumption that this is might work. It's all we can do. And we've got we've got a cap stuck in that there. It's kind of like its own science, really. Make a hypothesis, or try to model what's going to happen, give it a test. Hey, black crewmate? Yeah, if this doesn't come up, we'll jump to another board. Otherwise, we're all going to get a little bit frustrated. Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Oh, actually, I got protocol on this one. I got protocol Apple 2.4. I've just noticed I've actually got protocol on this. It's upside down, I do apologize. Wow, you can't see squat. There you go. So that one at least is showing protocol. I don't know if the other one was. I need more drug bags, damn it. I've run out of zippies. About 10,000 in the workshop. When I used to do model aircraft stuff, I would constantly be using zippy bags for all the small electronics I had. broken arrow protocol. It's not a nuclear device. Okay, Jason, enjoy the sleep. Anyway, I'm putting all the parts that I've taken off into this bag. And hopefully it doesn't have any holes in it. Jason, that's not good. You need more sleep than that. So what job number is this? 323. And we'll put this aside, come back at tomorrow, maybe have a fresh set of eyes, see something that I'm not spotting right now, spend less time just going around in circles. And the nice thing is we've got a 1466 next, which is also liquid damaged. Let's put this into a slot. Get our stickers set up so we don't lose too many parts. You can lose some parts, it's alright. That's why they put lots of parts into these laptops, so that you can afford to lose a few and it's okay, it'll keep running. Obviously I'm joking. Okay, spilt water into the upper keyboard screen area, dried off immediately. Well, laptop did not turn back on. Okay, sounds like a Greek tragedy. Let's hope it's not. Let's hope we can make it a Hollywood fairy tale and get some resurrections going. Karthik, go ahead and ask. You don't need to ask, just ask. Thank you for asking to ask. Hectic, well, give us 2 minutes and you can see. This is Greg. 1 issue fixed, 2 more cropped up. What's the issues? Repairing issues, logistical issues. I am still fighting with couriers. I love it when couriers are patronizing to me after I pretty much call them out on their lies. It's like, you don't know the courier business, man. It's not what you... Just because it says it was scanned doesn't mean we've actually got it, man. It's like... I called up the depot and they said, you collect it. No, we don't collect, man. So, well, how did the packages get to me before? Just like magic or something? Holy schmoko. Yeah. Alright. Okay. We've got a 165 board that basically... Yeah. Looks fun. Client's not getting back to you, so work has halted and crunch time. Oh, that's annoying. Logistics and licensing issues. Yeah. Your software or some other software? Or some other kind of license. Okay, so it's a machine that's being used a fair bit. And so the dust is not a problem. I will make that clear now. But liquid damage like that is. And definitely like that. Okay, that would pretty much kill it. Yeah. Let's get this board out. This hopefully will be the Hollywood story we're looking for this evening. Girl saves boy. Everybody lives happily ever after. Screen connector looks a little shonky. At least we can replace those. Frostwind, well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And maybe see you next time, perhaps. Some other software. Ah, okay, Greg. Apologies if I'm not keeping up with chat. Sort of a little bit sluggish. Okay. 340. I just mark them on the underside where it's not visible. I find it important to mark these things, particularly like these flat flexes 1722s, because you don't want to go and plagiarize one of these and then wonder where it is for the customer. Because you might just sort of like go, oh, here's a free one, when you're trying to test something else and you take the customer's one, and then later on you're like, oh, I don't know which one's the customer's and which one is not. Oh, we've got troll thumping. Next wave, eh? I have an MSI laptop. Oh, this is Karthik. I have an MSI lap. Damn it, scroll off. Display broke, so I gave it for repair. Engineer replaced the display. After that, your laptop died. It's not even showing the power button. Maybe because it was dropped, maybe the DC input jack is broken. And yeah, maybe it was cracked. And then when he did the display replacement, it wasn't the cause of any further problems, but just that sort of activity can sometimes be enough to make that crack in the DC input connector, particularly if it's soldered to the board, grow a little more to the point where it breaks free. That would be one of my first guesses. Thank you, moderators, for containing these crazy nutheads. I don't even know what they're trying to do. I mean, why? Yeah, so what are they trying to achieve? Hey, Tim Schumann. Certainly this board's very much in want of a ultrasonic clean. Hopefully we actually don't have too much damage on the underside. I'm kind of a little bit worried that we may have things like SMC damage. Took the car in for its service today, my Ford Falcon BA, and in the end nothing happened to it because the lock assembly that I wanted, they sent the wrong one, the supplier, and then the other issue I was having, which was intermittent starter motor. It's like, yeah, every now and then you try to turn the key and it should start the motor, but nothing was happening. And I knew it wasn't the starter motor or the solenoid that drives it, because there wasn't any clack noise, there wasn't any like clack, 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 clack. I knew it wasn't the battery, and there wasn't any dip in the supply. So I figured it's either going to be gear selector switch, relay to drive the solenoid, not triggering. Wow, another one. That's... all of a sudden I'm getting quite a few of these that are falling off the last little bit of the heat sink where the screw assembly goes in. Anyway, it turns out it's the ignition barrel itself. Oh, come on, Luke. Don't be like that, mate. At least Ford's still making cars, unlike Holden, who gave up and left. I mean, poor Holden people, they got sensitive little souls. That's why they had to win the Bathurst 1000 on the very last outing. Can you imagine if we didn't let you guys win? It'd be riots. It'd be like Eureka Stockade all over again, but worse. So yeah, I had to let Holden win on the final departure. Didn't want to cause too many dramas. Yeah, the ignition barrel, what happens I think is that over time the contacts on the back of the barrel, they just wear out. And so if you push the key a little bit in, you reconnect and you can get it to fire off. So they'll have to change that. Then they'll have to change the ID of the keys for the immobilizer. It's not a problem. A couple $100 and it'll be fine. They're good cars, the Falcon BA. It's a nice, understressed, 4-litre, 6-cylinder inline liquefied dinosaur burner. So yeah, it does its job well. Yeah, I was waiting. Ford does not stand for first on the rubbish dump. It stands for first on race day. And Holden barely holds onto the road. Fixing or fixed repaired daily. You can see. The rivalry. Personally, I don't give two hoots. I'm more of a Nissan fan anyway. I dearly love my 300s. Well, this thing, it's going to have a couple of issues. SMC's got some trash around it, but not bad. I'll give it a pass. Backlight's fine. This is more of a spluttering on the underside. For as bad as that is, I don't think that's going to be... I mean, that is the PCH 105 volt switch. So it is important, but I don't think it's what's killing us today. I sincerely rather think this crap here is. Andrew Hughes, you had a Mark IV Contina. Is that the one that they put the 4.2 inline 6 on? My friend's got a couple of those. With the Cortina they did that on. What were they thinking? I mean, that's just a ballistic combination, really. You got this lightweight car with a stomping motor in it. It's fun. The chassis doesn't really hold up to it, but it's fun. Alright, let's get this cleaned up with a bit of janitor action, flux and boil, stuff like that. Hey Osis, Linux on Mac. Hey, turn off. I do that. My iMac, my 27-inch 2013 iMac is running Ubuntu 2020 now. So be careful what you say. I could get offended. Two Escorts. Always wanted the RS2000 Escort. The only one I ended up getting was the 1973 1.3 litre Escort sedan. It was okay. Probably the best thing about it is that you could actually step into the engine bay. There was so much room in there with that puny little 1300 motor. What are you hooked on? So for as messy as all this is, it's still not really a smoking gun yet. Then, to be fair, we don't actually even know what we're tackling here. Now, Pernov, well, on the 2013 27-inch, it makes for a very nice display. It works well. And besides, I've got the 21-inch behind me, also 2013, and I use that for Macos. Okay, that short beep was because this particular rail has a lot of capacitors on it. So the short beep basically was meaning that the multimeter was charging up those capacitors with its test power, the test voltage. So that's why you get a short beep sometimes on those high current rails. It's not because there's a transient, mysterious, sneaky little short on it. It's just because there's a lot of it can store a lot of energy, and so initially it's got to charge it up a bit, and that means at first, the first few moments, it does look like a short. Okay, that has got junk on it. That there now, that I would say is a smoking gun. Rather sell it, use a regular PC. But the Apple Mac 27-inch monitors, this is the 256-1441. I much prefer them over the normal PC monitors, to the point where I'll probably go and buy myself a pair of 5K 27-inch Macs. I know, people are going to be horrified, but yeah, I like it. I like the screens. Let's see, I want schematic 165. So it's this chip here. Yeah. Is that right? Yep. Yeah. Hopefully we haven't got a dead CPU. Hey, Ricardo. It's going to be luck of the draw whether this has killed the machine or not. Because the problem will be... go back to the schematic. No, that's the infrared. Yeah, the problem could be if this gets messed up and it, say, keeps this on constantly, then we'll ultimately, if it's on long enough, you'll get the full PP bus voltage coming through here. And it won't be for a long time because probably the current sensor will cut it out, but it might be long enough that it causes drama. I mean, I might be wrong, but it just looks like it had a fair bit of corrosion hidden under it. I know why my soldering's been funny now. This is the wrong nozzle. This is the damn iPhone nozzle. I was wondering why the air sounded more aggressive. really need to change that nozzle. Whew. Things are a little hot. Dear Quick, please work out a far more sensible nozzle design system. Because the whole friction fit thing is very annoying. That's more like it. Crap. Too much. Take it back. Yeah, Joe, it's pretty much. It's cheap. I definitely much prefer the cheaper Tenma hot air station and other cheap ones where they have the, or at least, I mean, they're still friction fit, but at least they've got the clamping sleeve on them. I'm willing to accept that as a compromise, but this whole quick thing of like using the U-plate and then pulling it out like that, it requires too much uncontrolled force to work with it. And I don't like the uncontrolled force aspect. Christian, you mean just sticking with Intel GPUs? I'm with you on that. When I see that a laptop has a dedicated GPU, I basically just walk away from it. It's like, nope. To date, I haven't ever really had a compelling reason to have a laptop with a dedicated GPU. In fact, desktops even. Very rare. Particularly these days with the Intel GPUs, they're not stellar brilliant or anything, but they're still pretty good. Hey Ainsley. Chris935, uncontrolled force. So like with these nozzles, you really have to. You can't control the release point, so to speak. Whereas at least with a lot of the PC connectors, you can put it between your two fingers and squeeze separate. That thing, it's just like pull until it lets go and hope that you're sitting on something stable. Okay, now I need DC inboard, steal the crossflex But remember, this one's got their number on it, so we're allowed to do this. Okay, we'll get ourselves the ever-important chipmunk. Gotta have the chipmunk. The chipmunk tells us what's going on without us having to wait for fan spins or anything like that. Hey, autofocus was kicking in then. How rude. Change over to MagSafe 2, because this is a modern 1466. Put the power supply on. And let's pray for a little bit of Hollywood power. Fan spin would have been nice, but no, we've got to wait for the green blink. We get the green blink in the middle, we're back. Taking a little while. Making me nervous now. Oh, we got a green blink. Okay, we're alive. So we didn't kill the CPU, so that's good. Marvelous. That's a win, at least partially. I'm just going to check the BIOS EFI area, because it did have a little bit of grunge up here. I just want to make sure it's just... Yeah, we'll give that a little bit of flux and boil. Actually, no, we'll do 80-20 wash. Get some 80-20 wash and see how it comes up. Yeah, that's nice. See, that's really good. So whatever it was probably water-based. Which, to be fair, is most things. That seems fine. So yeah, I'd say that was the bigger issue. Would have been messing with the attempts to produce the right CPU voltage. We do need to check the display now though. I mean, there's a little bit of junk around, but ultrasonic will clear up most of that. We may not have a backlight. We'll give it a test. First I'll check the fuse. Saw a spot of corrosion. Yeah, there's a few on there, Arnold G. I'm sort of hoping that ultrasonic will take care of most of them. So look at the inside of that connector, which we can barely see because of all the liquid. It's pretty good. Okay, so the main board seems to be okay, but now we've got to test the rest of the chassis. And so we may yet have still keyboard issues, screen issues. This DCM board could also be faulty. We could have bad flexes, bad trackpad. Actually, that trackpad does have a few dark spots on it. In this case, it looks more like dust. A few pieces of sand that chew their way through your flexes. And of course battery charging. So basically we're going to plug everything back in, run our test. We're not going to put the drive in though. That is the only thing we don't put in. Run our tests. See if anything shows up weird. What am I after? Battery. Right. It is something I have to do more often, and that is to do full board tests with chassis before I put it through the ultrasonic. Lately I've been seeing an uptick in the number of boards that I repair, put them through ultrasonic, go to pack them to finish off, only to find that there are an additional set of defects on it, and so I have to go through the whole ultrasonic and everything process again, which is a bit of a nuisance. And I really don't like to ultrasonic more than I absolutely have to. Okay, option key. Whoop, forgot the flat flex. Swift hour, yeah, 2 hour stream, nothing unusual there for me. Getting a little late though. To be fair, I did have a big sleep this evening when we ran out of power because of the storm. Why do I hardly see any desktop boards? Mostly because... Hey, what's going on here? Oh, I got the battery connected, that's why. I think. Yeah, I think we've got a dead keyboard. Yeah, the keyboard's dead. Okay, it's not coming on when I try to power it up. We'll disconnect the battery. Still not coming up. Mostly because when it comes to desktop boards, you just replace the board. And, you know, there's that's really all there is to it. You know, people just replace it because it's like $200, $300, brand new board. Carry on, move the CPU across, perhaps. Okay, we had spikes there for a moment and then it died. Does this mean I got a bad DC inboard? I have had a power cut on stream actually, yes. It was a couple of years ago now. I can't even remember what I was repairing. I think it was an iPhone 6. I was trying to get it repaired before the power went out because I could feel the storm coming in pretty close. And then just as I finished the task, sure enough, the power died. Hey Mark. Mark, I've been meaning to reply back to you. I'm sorry I haven't yet. I appreciate the emails. What the hell's going on here? Okay, we've got multiple failures here or something. Remove the keyboard. 26 still. Okay. Either our CPU powering up was a fluke, or something else is causing this. Still 26. This is not making much sense at all. Speaker disconnected. USB out. Basically now we are back to what we were before I even Nope. Alright. I am going to have to guess that something in that EFI section is playing up. Oh, we had a fan there. That was the only other last difference. Just try to plug that in. EDP? What's EDP? It's trying something. I think it's actually shorting here. Okay, let's try new. No. Okay. Alright. So much for that. Oh, screen cable, yeah, disconnected. Of course, EDP display port. That was a little slow of me, wasn't it? Okay, so it's out of the chassis again. Replicate what we had before and see if we've now got a problem that we can't seem to fix. Yeah, it's almost 1 AM. It's 1:15. Oops. No, we don't even get power up now. Something has soiled the bed. And I wonder if we can get that on infrared. Yeah, something's definitely soiled the bed here. Come on. Okay, we want to look for something pulsing. I'm just going to put my hand here to try and give us a better gauge. Okay, nothing really showing up on the board. I mean the DCN. Great, now the infrared camera's decided it didn't like that packet of information. Okay, flip it over. Now I know that the power supply is showing basically no current, but there we go. What is that? So we've got something that's getting a little warm. It's jumping around. And that there is the PC, not PCH, SMC. Okay, so we've got SMC there. And it's getting a couple of little pixels of color in it. And then our ISL here. So the question is the SMC faulty? Unlikely. Yeah. It's not a lot of power, it's half a watt. This thing up here that you can see, that's just a reflection type bit of noise. Okay, it's booting normally now. Oh god damn, it's going to be one of these freaking intermittent jobs. Everybody loves those. Shut down. So we've probably got a resistor pad somewhere that's not quite sitting down right. Fantastic. The power's wrong. See how it's showing 350, 360? That's too low. Normally these should be, but it is blinking. I don't know what's going on here. Zombie fuse. Plug the battery and see if it charges. If you hear an almighty kablam, it's probably just me dying. Don't worry about that. So it's charging 1.2 amps. Yeah, I don't think we can blame a chip or a short or anything in this case. I think we just have a part that, maybe the current sense resistors or maybe the contacts. Something is a little bit not quite connecting right. Because it's charging fine, so I don't think we would be cooking the CPU. They do self-regulate anyway. Most of this power is just going straight into the battery. They'll just throttle themselves down. It's not a problem. Well, you think this is like a 1 gigahertz Athlon from 2000? Come on, it's not that sensitive. Disconnected, still running. So the ISL's fine. Whoops, now it's not. Leave this on charge. Ready for another day. Alright, we'll have a quick look over the board, see if we can find any part that fits the description of being partially connected, as it were. But if I can't find anything, I really do need to knock off to sleep. Certainly go get some food if nothing else. This could be one of those scenarios where a little bit of ultrasonicing does save the day. I can see, yeah, there's junk everywhere, but it's not the sort of thing that kills the machine like that. It could be trash under the SMC. Yeah. Oh, what? How did I not see that before? You people are useless. Clock chip. You guys asleep on the job? What do I pay you for? I really do get my money's worth, don't I? Paying nothing. And look, trash there. You people are hopeless. Shame on you all, letting me fix this board without your guidance. I can't believe I didn't see that, considering I was washing those. Anyway, the RTC 3v3 could have been affected. Ah, these are such a nuisance to get off. Amazingly, there is an RTC on this one. Not often I get that lucky. Most of the time these boards are missing that chip. What's an emulator Android? I don't know. I don't really deal with Android anymore. Android and I divorced probably 5 or 6 years ago now. To be fair, I blame the hogging hussy of Samsung. Always just wanting more and more and more resources, never letting you tell it to get away, leave you alone. It just made Android very unpleasant. Well, don't get me wrong, just because I'm hating on Android doesn't mean I love iOS. You can hate on more than one thing. iOS kind of... they've got their own major ball slips. I think the biggest one that is genuinely affecting a lot of people is their inability to manage their space for their operating system. The fact that you can actually have logs and things like that due to, say, you know, bad battery sensor and things like that, you have that data choke out your system and kill your access to your data. I mean, come on. That shouldn't be happening. I expect that kind of crap from Linux, because Linux nerds think they're so great that they would never let the disk space run out like that, because they're always on top of everything. So yeah, if it happened in Linux, I'd be like, yep, typical. But on iOS, no. I'm allowed to bag out Linux because, I mean, I'm an open source developer that does a lot of Linux stuff, so it's my right to bag them out. To be fair, I should be saying, yeah, the operating system, not the Linux kernel. flip to? Where did you go? I am in no mood to go chasing that. Where are you? What the? It flew off. I picked it up. And it flew off again. And now I can't find it. Let's say. A rotten spot of luck there. Rather unjust in my opinion. Ooh, okay. Temperature sensor thingy jig there. Could do a cleanup too. It's not bad. But, even still. Anyway, back to the primary point of my discontent here right now is the fact that that chip disappeared. Is this it? No, you look terrible. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I mean, fair enough, you got all the BSD stuff and then the Darwin stuff, stealing from the BSD stuff. I mean, a lot of the Linux a lot of the Unix internals of most systems are shared ultimately. Makes for great lawsuits. Anyone remember the the SCO IBM fiasco? What a nightmare that was. It's a good example of how to abuse the legal system. This is a good example of why you shouldn't push chips around too much. What's this best phone I should upgrade to? Luke? Well, it depends. What do you want? Has anyone got themselves the SE 2020? Because that seems to be actually a pretty decent phone. And of course, nice thing is cheap to repair, given that it's based on the 8 pretty much. Still, it's all subjective now, isn't it? Everybody has their own preferences. I'm still using my 7 Plus. I do have an XR, but I gotta admit I'm kind of still preferring the 7 Plus simply because it's a little bit bigger than the XR. I wouldn't mind trying the Pine phone, just to see what it's like, but chances are it's too much stuffing around anyway. I saw the fun Lewis was having with it, and by fun, I kind of have the same sarcastic tone as when he says a certain brand of screwdrivers have personality. Yeah, Chris935, if Samsung left out all their trash, then I think they would really have a pretty good winner there. But they certainly seem quite insistent on embedding their trash into it, which makes it ultimately sluggish. Come back here. Okay, let's try this again. We'll put the fan in it this time. Okay, current's back up to where it should be, 600-ish. Ah, now it's down to 360 crap again. What's going on there? 400. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I always thought that they should really be sitting at around about the 600 mark. At 382, I don't know what to think about that. Last chip you heat, just to the rise, another chip. Yeah, Warren, not really getting any sleep after the events with treacle. You head off to sleep and then you get woken up by a bit of a nightmare, and then yeah. It's just going to have to go through its normal process. I've also got to do my tax, and that's weighing on me. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to thrash between jobs, which is part of the reason why I'm sort of trying to soldier through this to get a consistent outcome, so at least I can, get this job off the list for tonight. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all this time it does normally drop back down to 350, 400. It's funny how you can question yourself like that after time. Sleep is great. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sleep is marvellous if you can get it. Okay, current's back. Okay, we do have. Let's see if we can get a boot. Proper boot. Yeah, Mark, I have the green flashes. But like I said, I just don't know whether my memory is playing tricks on me. Because I always. See, now it's posting proper 500-600. Maybe it's because it's connected to the screen. And so, the extra 200 milliamps is going to the backlight drive. We'll see. Hey, Steve K. It looks fine to me. It's normal that it drops a bit lower after post. Yeah, Pernov, I think I'm just losing my mind. I'm sorry. Thank you for being around, Pernov, because we can always rely on you to provide some very useful information. You're quite the specialist in that respect. It's running a little slower at the moment because I do not have the fan in it. I just want to test the keyboard and a couple of other things. We're not going to run anything fancy here. So it will be throttling itself. But we're not demanding a lot from it, so it should get through okay. Okay, full stop seems to have a problem. Yeah, we got a dead key. One key dead. The full stop. This is why I love this piece of software. I know I wrote it, so it's socially not that acceptable to complement your own software. But a lot of people said to me, "Why the hell are you writing a keyboard tester? You can already use other keyboard testers that are built in, or just use Notepad." And it's because doing it this way, where you have the negative negative removal, so to speak, of what works, and then you're left with what doesn't work, it makes it so much easier to diagnose these things. You got to really squish that one. I'm pushing on the back of the board. I wonder if it might be, but yeah, it's dead there. It might be repairable if I take that keycap off. We can have a look, because it's going to have to be replaced if it doesn't anyway. Let's see. Let's check, see if a couple of other things work. Certainly I'd take it a win. Maybe I can actually solve my beeping 3437 for today's comments. Why do you have a beeping 3437? I'm presume you're talking about 3 beep RAM beep. Hey, Bike Cars and Guns here. How's it going? And Anonymous is here too. Have you had to fix a device because a kangaroo kicked it? No, but I have had to fix plenty of horse-kicked stuff. That definitely happens around here. Usually people have it in their pocket, and then the horse decides to kick them. I shouldn't laugh. It's actually quite dangerous. You know, horses kicking you, you can die, or you can be in a lifelong coma. Whether you live for a day or two, or whether you live for 40 years, it's still true. But yeah, horses kicking stuff, it's so common around here. Fix a device that was run over by a backhoe. That's the other thing, yeah. Stuff being run over by cars, heavy equipment. Oh, for goodness sake, don't make my life difficult here. We're getting a little tricky because I want to get to that full stop button and see what the heck's jamming it. Good thing I've got a lot of these. Alright, so that, from what I know, should not actually be free floating. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be free floating. Okay, now the trick with these ones is you actually have to detach the back one first. Like that. And then they come out nice and peacefully. My guess is, in this particular instance, that dome has detached, and because it's just drifting around, it's causing it to be all gummy. So what was probably happening is, where's that dome? It could have been like over here, and so you'd push down, but it obviously wouldn't be making its mark on the center of the pad there. So now the question is, how the heck do these normally sit? So is that glue? It's almost like it was like that. I wonder if some B7000 will fix that. Probably not, but... Super glue, eh? Super glue or B7000, because I can do both. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking it is. Oh, I just noticed there are, in fact, channels on the underside. It's there and there and there. Looks like that actually does not matter. I think they're just air channels. Yeah. B7000, clean off the old glue first, yep. Now under the old, see this is what it looks like under the caps. See there's nothing really there. When you take the caps off, that should just be stuck in the center. And nothing more. Yeah, it's not going to be easy getting this glue off, Pianov. I don't like your suggestion one bit. So we all downvote Pernov's suggestion. Oh, the hinge. No, I didn't see anything in the hinge when I looked at it. Certainly not to cause that sort of issue. Stick the top. Yeah, I suppose that's a possibility. What are they using here? Some kind of gummy, silicone-y. It's actually very hard to get a grip on this peeling off. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Oh, I see the channeling. I pretty much would have to clip this off with side clippers. Hinge what? Hinge will it in place. It's glued to the bottom of the key hinge. Yeah, that's what we're trying to put it back onto, but I just want to... Oh, you mean the scissor assembly? The seesaw assembly? I don't think they were. Let me check. I've got one here. One I prepared yesterday. Right, yeah, mongrel. Okay. This is one I prepared yesterday. Yeah, so, yeah, it's... I can see now that glue just sitting there. Okay, better stop playing with that. Doesn't achieve anything. Waste time. Yeah, oh yeah, it's the wrong shape, but I was just more comparing the technique as opposed to the shape. Now, there's not much point in me really trying to clean out that, because honestly, if I try to clean out that with anything other than just dry like this, I'll just make things worse. Yeah, we'll get liquid seeping into there. It's unpleasant to look at, but so long as this section here is good, then we're fine. Hot glue, that's what we should do. My disinclination for, what do you call it, super glue would be that due to its viscosity, it will very much likely get in under these mylar layers. B7000, I'm disinclined for the fact that it doesn't really have a strong... Yeah, I'm not sure it will actually do anything here. I could just put 2 dots there, enough to keep it stable. But yes, I'd say silicon is actually the correct option, but someone doesn't have any. Yeah, I was joking about the hot glue. uh, Superglue gel works. I don't have superglue gel. I actually have it as on a brush format, so it is far more manageable in brush format. Or I could use what's the other stuff I love to use? Damn it. Yeah, JB World, or just JB World it. Super may attack the plastic. The fumes of the superglue may well attack the plastic. Yes, you can get different viscosities. With model aircraft, you know, we exploit that quite a lot. See, now I'm not going to apply it, but yeah, this is the application brush. Now you think, okay, you can easily apply that, but the trouble is once you put that super glue, once you touch it down, onto the plastic, it will have a tendency to very quickly, the capillary action will drag it down, and before we know it, we'll definitely be replacing the keyboard. I think B7000 is probably the best option based on the fact that it doesn't have a tendency to wick quite so close. UV glue, it will be too brittle. Once the hinge is on there and the cap and the top will not move, I worry about it just hopping out. I mean, it obviously did it in the first place. Okay. Yep. We'll just wait for that. Yeah, Barry, I find that stuff perhaps gets a little brittle when it's thin. So how long have I got to wait for this B7000 trash? Matthew Fox, that was B7000. That's all it is. "24 hours? That's absurd. Surely it's quicker than that. Why would phone repair people use this stuff if it takes 24 hours? That would mean most people's repaired phones are going out with glue that's not set. 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. It's not the best job, but hopefully it will do the job. Blow on it. Is it oxygen activated, is it? Well, in that case, just being out in the air should be enough. I know it sounds silly, but I really don't use the stuff much. I've got it in case I had to, but I generally don't use it. I tend to use hot glue more than anything else. Like I used hot glue to reassemble some 1990 fans. Full cure, 24 hours. 48 hours, crikey. Right, so basically I need to leave this until tomorrow is what you're all saying. Oh, brilliant. Let's get this out of the way. Hey Ashes, IT. Okay. Waterproof, shock resistant, low odor, strong toughness. Yeah, sounds like lies to me. Please ensure the bonding surface is dry and clean. Well, we stuffed up on the clean bit. The bond is bonded within 2 to 3 minutes after glue is extruded. Alright. After use, cover the cover in time to avoid curing. Disappointed. I was expecting them to say curing the cure. Best results are achieved 12 to 24 hours after bonding is completed. Alright, fair enough then. What do we got here? B7000 environmentally friendly. Blah blah blah. Room temperature, simple operation, waterproof, impact resistant, firm adhesion, transparent, special environment protection adhesive. So what sort of glue is this? In the sense of, you have PVA glues, you have your epoxy glues, you have, what's its actual chemical nature? Yeah, acetone will kill everything. But then maybe you was sticking acetone on the silicone before actually putting it back on. It's magic glue. It's great. Just what I always want, magically. Alright, well, that puts the end of tonight's activities then, really, because obviously I'm not going to touch that until I get to it tomorrow. But I can only hope that the board still functions tomorrow. But I guess we'll find out. Everything written on it is a lie. It sounds legit. So I am going to go to sleep. Oh, crikey, it's 1:30 in the morning. That's bad news for me. I could turn into a pumpkin before I get back to my room. So if I show up on Vine tomorrow, then you know I turn into a pumpkin. Anyway, you all take care, and I will maybe see you tomorrow. In the meantime, do your worst. Get out there, make some money, have some fun, and I'll catch up with you later. See ya.